Hi, my name is Sonia, and today I'm going to share my story. It might surprise you that the best decade of my life, I feel, started when I was 50 years old. I'm now almost 60. And today I just want to share with you some things about my life and hopefully start a community here of us women in similar situations. So, if you are feeling stuck or invisible or feel like it's too late, I want you to stick around because I think this story is for you. I am almost 60 years old, and it's a time in life, I think, where a lot of us start to reflect on what's happened over the course of our life and, what we might be able to do differently or change or um, just make things better. And I can tell you that at this age of almost 60, I'm really just kind of reflecting and realizing that um, life has been a challenge, as I'm sure it is for most of us. And I just want to share that with you today. I'm a single mom of a 19-year-old son. Um, he is the best thing that ever happened to me. I have been a single mom that entire time, and as I'm sure you can imagine, life has been a bit of a challenge. His father has and continues to be involved. We have co parented together and have made that work. But at this point in my life, I'm kind of reflecting on what it's all been about and how far I've come. So I have been in a career for over 25 years as a workers' compensation adjuster. I've worked from home for most of that time, so it's been a great opportunity for me to be around for my son and to be here and just to be able to. It's really helped with the situation and helping to raise him. So there have been many ups and downs during that time for me. I did not get through it without some challenges, some big challenges. I did try to cope with a lot of those feelings and kind of numb a lot of those feelings that I was dealing with early on when I started to share my son. We had a custody arrangement with his father, and I started to drink a lot. And I was using alcohol as a coping mechanism. And, life was tough during that time. Um, you know, my mom was still around. And she was sick for a period of that time. And she was around to help me quite a bit. But then she got sick and she passed away. So I was completely on my own um, dealing with those feelings of grief and everything like that. It was hard, and I was drinking more than ever. And um, in the midst of that, for some reason, realized that stopping drinking alcohol would be the best thing for me, so I could grieve my mother. And it was the hardest thing that I ever went through, but it was the best thing because I was able to feel those feelings. I had to feel those feelings to get through that, and um, it was time to start to deal with things and um, to be the mother that I think that I was supposed to be, and to be there for my son the way I should have. And um, I got through that too. So one challenge not completely resolved. It's still you still have to work at that part of it. If you're familiar with that situation and alcohol or addiction and anything like that, um, you've got to deal with that on a regular basis. So but I made it through. I think at one point I looked at my son and really thought that, okay, is this the example that I want to set with him or set for him? And no way. No, I did not want to be drinking alcohol and having him see. I tried to hide it most of the time, but I think he knew. He knew, but kids are not stupid. So I, realized that that was not the example that I wanted to set for him, and I understood that um, drinking alcohol on a daily basis was limiting my potential. Looking back on it now and realizing, you're not able to be your full, complete self and to do your best and to be your best self if you have an addiction or you're drinking every day or doing whatever it is every day to try to cope with life. It's just you're not it's not good, and you're not living up to your potential. So I think I realized that as well. Also, a few years ago, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. So during that time, that was it was difficult. It was my breast cancer was found on a mammogram. I had waited, I believe it was over COVID. I had waited 2 years to go for my mammogram, and there was a lump found, and actually two lumps found in my one breast, and um, rather than a lumpectomy, I decided to have a mastectomy and had my whole breast removed. So that was, that was a difficult time, but I got through it, and it was early stage, and I didn't need any further treatment, just some ongoing medication. But the real challenge came when a year later I decided that I was going to try a reconstruction, and where they do the flap and they take the skin from they actually took it from my stomach to put it in my breast, and it ended up failing. I was in the hospital for a week, and there were blood clots, and that for me was more of a challenge than the actual breast cancer was, because at that point I had thought, okay, I'm gonna feel normal. I'm going to you know, have a breast again and, get through this. And it didn't work out the way that I thought that it would. So I'm still, I'm still without a breast. I have a prosthesis that I do wear, and, that whole situation is on the back burner. And I'm just, I have options in the future, just trying to decide what I may want to do as far as an implant. But again, that was that was hard. That was a difficult time to go through, but with lots of friends and family around me, I made it through and just kept going. And that's, I felt like I had no choice. There's no choice when you go through a difficult time, especially when you're single, when you're a single mom, especially. And thank goodness I had friends and family that helped me through that too. So, this journey of life has taken me to a place now where I'm just looking back and just to see how I cope with it and how I got through it. And I can tell you, um, years of therapy and counseling, and I've worked with a woman for a number of years, and that's been one of the best things for me. It's got me through, it's helped me, and it still helps me. Um, I still go to counseling and have somebody like that to talk to and to deal with my feelings and things like that. So the one thing that I have learned is you've got to learn to sit with those feelings and emotions to get through it. Alcohol is not going to help, and um, drugs or whatever it is, and it's those feelings are going to be waiting for you when you're sober, and you're just using. I was just using that um, as something to cope with it and kind of push it away. But again, it's like they're waiting for you to deal with eventually, and I think I realize that too. So just sitting with those feelings and being uncomfortable. You have to learn to do that and be uncomfortable with those feelings, and you'll get through it. I have also built genuine friendships. I have some, a couple really close friends that I can count on and talk to and things like that. So that is something that has helped me. I've learned also to set boundaries. I've learned to say no. I have always been a people pleaser, and I still am. I hate conflict. I hate saying no. I don't want to make people angry with me, but it's something that I've learned. I've learned to do. If I set a boundary and somebody gets angry about it, let them get angry. And it's you've got to look out for yourself because nobody else will. I've started to make decisions on things that I want, not what other people expect. So again, that's along the boundary thing. But I've got to learn to look out for myself and take care of myself. I've learned to start to discover who I am, who I want, what I want. I guess um, I'm more of a woman, and I have passions and things that I like to do, things that I enjoy, and I'm really starting to look at that now that my son is 19. He is still living with me, but he has his own life, and I think it's beyond the fact that I'm a woman, a career woman. That I was always looking at uh, trying to see how I could go forward in my career and make it the best, and move up in the corporate ladder, I guess. And it's not about that anymore. It's about living my life and just realizing that there's things that I really enjoy, things that I want to do beyond that, and that's something that I'm just realizing now. I think in the past few years, taking that time and just sort of reflecting on things. So, what I have learned over the course of my life, and most recently, is personal growth is ongoing. It's something that you continue to do, and I think as I've gotten older, I've um, realized a couple of things. Is it's not an overnight thing. It's going to take time. Um, I used to be pretty quiet. I still can be quiet around certain people in certain situations. I enjoy alone time. I like being single. I'm honestly, I have to say that right now, in being almost 60 years old and single, and a single mom, I'm the happiest that I've ever been. I think if I remember, at least right now, I know I'm happy, and um, I'm looking forward to life and what may come about here, especially with this YouTube channel and starting to share and creating a community, hopefully of women that are in similar situations. We can share our stories and be there for each other. I have learned in this life that you have to speak up for yourself. You can't just there's certain situations where you can't just sit back and just be quiet. I've learned to have more confidence to speak up for myself, set boundaries, and really learn that um, nobody's coming. You are the only person that you have, especially if you have children. They eventually grow up, and that's your job as a mom. That's your job um, to raise them and help them become the best person that they can be, so they can leave the nest and have their own life. And I'm getting close to that point, and it's just me. It's just nobody's coming, and I've got to learn um, to be there and just be there for myself and live the best life that I can, because you only have one, right? But I just want to say that you don't have to have it all figured out. It's an ongoing transformation, I think, and Small changes make a big difference. As I mentioned, I enjoy being alone, and but you do need a support system. You need people around you that support you, and close friends, even if just a few of them or a couple of people that you can count on and go to and talk to. And it's crucial. The fear of change is usually um, worse as you make it up in your mind than it actually is. So, um, to share another story, I just recently sold my house. My son and I had lived in for his whole life from the time that his dad and I separated. He was a year old, and I bought this house, and we have lived there for 18 years. And I knew at some point that I wanted to move out to the country and um, to be away from the town that I was in. It's getting a little crowded, and I just want peace. I just want a place where I can have peace and quiet. And eventually, we'll buy another house. I am. It worked out to where I have friends that have an apartment that was available, and I'm here for a year until I can find a house that I love and that can be in. It'll be my last place that I live in, and I just want peace. I want a house in the country with a little bit of land and to sit on a front porch. It sounds like I'm turning into an old woman here, but to sit on the front porch of my rocking chair and just have my tea and to have peace. That's all I want. So I look forward to that. But that was difficult. That was hard to leave that house. And I spent a lot of time, a few months, going through things and decluttering and throwing things out, which was emotionally difficult too. So I was scared. I was afraid to leave that house, that fear of change. And, you're used to that routine, you're used to that environment. Even my son had a hard time because he grew up there. But you know what? It's okay. We made it through, and this is just the next step to where I need to be in the future. So, um, fear is a lot of it's in your mind, and it's not as bad as you think. So, if you're feeling stuck, if you feel like there's, what else there may be to life, you're not alone, and you've come to the right place. And I hope you can stick around, and I hope we can share our stories and be there for each other. So if you're feeling stuck, if you feel like there's, what else there may be to life, you're not alone, and you've come to the right place. And I hope you can stick around, and I hope we can share our stories and be there for each other. So this channel is for women who are tired of settling and want to start thriving in their life. And I'm glad you're here. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you want to, if you want to be part of this community of women. I'd love to have you. And comment below, where are you at in your life? And, um, you know, where are you at in your journey? I would love to hear about it. And I will see you next time.